ऐसे बोलचे हम बंगाल को गुजरात बना देंगे। हम बोला गुजरात को बंगाल हो जाएगा भाई, बंगाल को गुजरात तो आप नहीं बना सकते।
अब हमें पूछते हो कि आपका बंगाल से क्या रिश्ता है? हमारे पार्टी के पहले अध्यक्ष ही ये बंगाल को बचाने के लिए, बंगाल को बनाने के लिए आंदोलन किए, जिसके कारण आज बंगाल का अस्तित्व।
बांग्ला के गुजरात बानिए दाओ, আমরা বলি হবে না, হবে না, হবে না।
मैं आपको कहता हूं, मई के बाद आप रोक नहीं पाओगी, क्योंकि आप मुख्यमंत्री ही नहीं हो।
Integral to the battle for Bengal is the insider and outsider tag. The Trinamool Congress accuses the BJP of just roping in outsiders, those who don't understand the culture of Bengal, which is why they're also asking these questions repeatedly of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister Amit Shah, that who's your chief ministerial face. I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and this week my one take actually takes suggestions from you on who can be the CM face for the BJP, or should the BJP play safe and not announce or project anyone as a potential CM face. Now, if we look at the structure of the BJP leaders from West Bengal, a lot of them who are prominent are actually people who've come in from the Trinamool Congress. Now, I'm talking about, for example, Mukul Roy, one time the closest aide of Mamata Banerjee, Suvendu Adhikari, the king of Nandigram and those areas, Ranjit Banerjee, who recently joined, and of course Dinesh Trivedi. The only one who one can associate prominently with the BJP in West Bengal is that of Dilip Ghosh. Now, there are many pros and cons against and in favor of Dilip Ghosh, and the most prominent one of them, of course, being that he's actually the son of the soil, and second, he is someone who has a strong support of the RSS. Now, all those names which have been now put out, which you are seeing right up on our screens, they all have the positives as well as the negatives against them. But the biggest problem for the BJP and their justification would be that how do they explain the fact that they may not have that one powerful face pitted opposite Mamata Banerjee. Now, if you look at the past in other states where the BJP has come to power, whether it was Maharashtra, whether it was Haryana, they never ever projected any CM face. It was the name of the Prime Minister which became the electoral pitch. Now, that may not completely work in West Bengal, because here you have one very powerful, strong CM face, and that's from the Trinamool Congress of Mamata Banerjee. Once the dates are being announced, we move closer to the election or the polling days, she's going to keep on asking this question, who is it against me? In fact, one of the main reasons why she's going to be contesting from Nandigram is because she actually wants to bait the BJP and also Suvendu Adhikari, who's actually from that area, forcing the BJP perhaps to field Adhikari opposite Mamata Banerjee. Will that then make him automatically the CM face for the BJP in West Bengal, when one doesn't really know? But what I'm picking up by way of talking to many of the BJP leaders from the states is that, one, that you have those ministers, for example, Babul Supriyo, they are going to be used extensively for campaigning. So there's no question of projecting any of them even as a potential CM face. Second, they want to replicate the example of, say, a Maharashtra and Haryana and take a try. Who knows that in the name of the Prime Minister, Amit Shah, JP Nadda, but more specifically in the name of Prime Minister, they're going to talk about that Poribortan. The Prime Minister's image as a doer, as someone who can bring development, is the pitch of the BJP. So why do we even need to project a CM face? There's also no denying the fact that there's a lot of division within the BJP in the state. Even internally, many of those who have been traditionally with the BJP in the state feel that why are you getting these people from outside, and why should they be getting so much of prominence? We've been with the party when the party has not been anywhere at all. Ironically, it's the same situation as many TMC leaders who are miffed with Mamata Banerjee for giving novices like, say, a Prashant Kishore or a Abhishek Banerjee that kind of importance. So it's quite possible that the BJP may opt in for the time-tested formula of actually not giving any one of the BJP leaders that kind of prominence or potential, but actually keep the guessing game going. It's a very smart tactic. I remember I noticed that in Madhya Pradesh as well, when the Congress was facing a problem of plenty. So there was a Kamal Nath, there was a Digvijay Singh, there was a Jyotiraditya Scindia. At that point of time, there was a Suresh Pachauri and so on. So what they did was that they divided the entire state into separate zones. Each of these leaders were given their zones, and they were asked to concentrate on that so that they ensure that a maximum number of seats comes from there. And it also nurtured that hope internally among these leaders that who knows, if I perform well, if I can deliver, then I become the chief minister. BJP perhaps is going to repeat that formula. Ensure that each of these leaders from Bengal actually gives prominence to their own area, their strongholds, and swell up the numbers which the BJP gets in terms of the seats, and also give a hope in them that, we may become the chief minister. The iron hand of the prime minister, the kind of issue that he's going to raise, the fact that he's going to pitch himself as someone who's going to develop and bring about Sonar Bangla, that is likely to be the main USP of the BJP and to kind of replace his entire demand or pitch for the CM face. The question which the BJP asked to Mamata Banerjee is that we have enough leaders, we have the Prime Minister who's going to be pitched opposite to you, why should we announce the CM face? That's never been our tactic. Now, I'm just looking at the social media timeline of all the responses I've been getting. It's very interesting. But what is also which is coming across very interestingly is that many of them actually say that the BJP actually should not announce a CM face or not even kind of project anyone as a potential CM face because the Prime Minister on his own is enough. None of them have the stature who can match up to Mamata Banerjee. That's those BJP leaders I'm talking about. And therefore, why take that risk? Of course, there are individual choices coming out. Many feel that Dilip Ghosh actually fits the son of the soil narrative and therefore he actually should be projected as a possible CM face. Names of Mukul Roy, many of them are rejecting, saying that he's too old, he cannot have that kind of a stature. He's always going to see a shadow of Mamata Banerjee. Shubhendu Adhikari, he's there but not yet there. And at the end of the day, this is going to be the kind of narrative which we are going to be seeing in the battle for Bengal. Keeping the guessing game going is certainly one of the most powerful tools which politicians and leaders of any political party exercises. And therefore the BJP hopes to bring out that counter against Mamata Banerjee. Keep tuned because this is going to be an interesting game which is going to be played out once the electoral results come out for Bengal.